Well, hello everyone. Earlier today I saw Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer, a biopic, /war film, about the physicist of the same name, detailing not only his role in the Manhattan Project, which led to the creation of the atomic bomb, and also his eventual getting caught up against and anti-communist hysteria during the Cold War in the 1950s, the latter which is a framing device for the main story, so let's open it up. The film is led by Cillian Murphy in the title role, and it is definitely one I've been heavily anticipating for some time. Waiting nearly an entire year, and it's kind of funny how the last three films I've seen, this one included, are definitely have like a parallel for today, and two of which are being set in the past to aid that parallel. About not knowing who or what to trust, and as it definitely is very grounded and realistic film, and even some creative licenses taken for cinematic purpose. That cinematic purpose is definitely a storytelling and visual delight, right? And it is a purely a adult film, and not just because of he he very the extracurricular pursuits that Oppenheimer has, as well as the atmosphere. It's a subject matter that most younger audiences will not find fun, and most on one time that most of them might not have the patience for. Part of the reason that tells me I'm ASD, not ADD, was like the reason why most ADD people won't have like the attention span for a film of this scope and length, let alone a romantic comedy half this runtime. Let's just say we're not going to be seeing any Oppenheimer fast food tie-ins or Funko Pops anytime soon. All I'm saying. We'll see is definitely some of the best technical practical achievements I've seen in years, and Nolan was committed to having absolutely no CG shots of any kind, which is definitely increasing rarity in this day and age, where even some smaller productions have some degree of digital work. Not this time. He actually ended up shooting on 70mm film, which definitely means we see this in IMAX or other large formats. You're definitely going to be in for quite the experience. Even just the venue I saw, it was quite impressive. A feat where, with the practical effects work, the editing, the cinematography, the sound design, I'm not sure about how it's going to do in the awards categories always come next year. However, I definitely can say that technical achievements are definitely going to be keeping an eye on, as with the vast supporting cast, which contains the likes of Robert Downey Jr., Florence Pugh, Emily Blunt, Kenneth Branagh, Dane DeHaan, Dave Dalmaskian, and and many others that I have not mentioned here. That it's definitely. I'm not sure if it's going to be my favorite film this year, but it's definitely joining the list, and also joining the list of favorite ones by Nolan. And I definitely understand why his old partners, whereas the WB, want him back, and also why, until this dual strike was resolved, why he's not going to be directing anything after this. But I will say this: if this is what he's giving us while he takes a little hiatus, then I am all for that. He and the other cast actually walked off the premiere in London, and in solidarity with been working. And feel free to insert like a pencils down tag if you're interested. And with nothing about this summer season having gone the way anyone's expected, it, I must say it was something of like a stroke of unintentional genius. Both this and Barbie came out the same weekend, and Even like the venue where I saw this, taking full advantage of like the Barbenheimer trend, as am I. Believe me, hey, we'll get to that when the time comes, and two very different films by two very different but highly acclaimed directors. It's a body of work, and yet at both sides of the fandom have chosen to unite rather than tear each other apart. I definitely share one of the many, many Barbenheimer mashups on my community tab, as well as some of your instances of like the mugshot meme as well. Believe me, I'm just getting started. I will say I am very eager to see how this goes going forward. I was one of at least a couple dozen or so people in the theater watching this, which definitely further compounds my belief that regardless of which how I look at the numbers, the road to recovery in any market is a marathon, not a sprint. One of the biggest unspoken truths out there. My final rating is explosive 4 out of 4, 5 out of 5, and now on to coming attractions. Okay, so August 4th, Meg 2 The Trench, which looks every bit as delightfully dumb as the first one, which was essentially like a sci fi channel shark movie, albeit with a budget of blockbuster, where you have, and this time around, you got even more megalodons and potentially sea monsters, and also Jason Statham um, somehow doing like a corkscrew turn on a jet ski. So you're definitely Tyler favoring entertainment over accuracy, marine life. So definitely the kind of thing that's best watched after something very caloric and like a frostbite Mountain Dew, like the shark variant. So I can't say for certain whether I'll be seeing this one theatrically, but I'm definitely gonna keep an eye on it. Yeah. A Haunting in Venice, and this on September 13th mean the third version of a classic Poirot tale, which with Kenneth Branagh once again reprising the role as Christine Poirot, complete with the exotic mustache, and sitting in director's chair against many stars. In an attempt to debunk a psychic medium, it goes awry when said medium winds up dead, and one of the people inside is responsible. I also kind of like the idea of who may or may not be Agatha Christie herself. Health, and also Hercule Poirot. I know I misspoke there, sorry about that, man. And even though they're not my favorite mystery ones, I do appreciate the effort being made. It's clear that Branagh does cover material, at least in his own way. And even though like Death on the Nile wasn't a great one by any means, it must have done all right, theatrically and even better online. I do feel like the whole idea like his iconic mustache being used to hide a war wound. I say that tracks, especially. I don't have much to add about Expendables 4, so let's continue with this Exorcist reboot slash legacy sequel. I heard that they were making another one, and I'm not certain how to feel about that one, given how other Exorcist follow-ups outside the first have varied in quality. Let's just say for every Exorcist 3, which is actually quite good and quite freaky, he there's ones like the infamous Exorcist 2 The Heretic, which had a perfect 0% Rotten Tomato score, and didn't really fare much better header on other parts either. I mean, it was made without the involvement of the original filmmaker or author, and it shows. This new one coming out October 13th is called The Exorcist Believer, which, following the success for the Halloween trilogy, David Gordon Green is turning his attention to another iconic franchise, which happens to be 50th anniversary this year. Imagine that. Hmm. Okay, so oh, November 3rd, Doom Part 2. I'm very much looking forward to the second half of the adaptation of the novel, which I have explained multiple times before, is one of my most anticipated films this holiday season, based on how much of a success like the previous entry was. And even with all the ballyhoo about this rebrand, I'm glad they recognized what they had and did claim the first movie as one of the most successful experiences in Project Popcorn, doing quite well both online and theatrically. Hey, and definitely eager to see this. I'm hoping they don't delay this because of the dual strikes makes, depending on when they're resolved. I understand if they have to. Same with the other their remaining slates this year, which includes also not limited to the Aquaman sequel and their remake of The Color Purple. So we'll see what happens. Last and least is The Holdovers, which, depending on where you look, is either coming out October 27th or November 10th. Either way, it's going to have some pretty stiff competition from not only what I just mentioned, but a very, very packed November slate as well. Everything from the Marvels to Disney's Wish, just vying for a piece of the pumpkin pie. I mean, look, I liked Sideways and Descendants from the same director, but this one's not doing a whole lot for me, if I'm being totally honest. I mean, and that's coming from someone who does, I was like Paul Giamatti, but I don't know. But it's coming from someone like, say, Wes Anderson, the whole concept of like a misanthropic teacher, a a cook who lost her husband and son, and a student who lost his father, who's a lonely rich kid. You'd buy it, maybe because at least some sympathetic qualities and those things to latch on to. I'll probably check Asteroid City whenever it comes online. Heard good things about it, and likewise, I think this one can just simply be held over for video on demand. And and this concludes my look at this very, very intelligent, introspective biopic. So here, the rest of the weekend will be dedicated to some very strange film work and some virtual insanity. See you all tomorrow. Take care, everyone.